It is a long, hot 1,200 miles from our home to the closest mountain range out west. 2 days on the road and 2 short overnight camping trips can't keep the ladies from wanting to stay glamorous. We were thankful for our interstate highways, their convenient rest areas, and scenic turnouts. They made this journey more pleasant. Our roadside meals broke the monotony of driving the long miles through the Iowa and Nebraska cornfields. This is baby Michael's first camping trip, and at 6 months, he seems to be absorbed by every facet of it. Monument, Colorado is a small mountain town a few miles north of Colorado Springs. Even though we were not sure of where we were going to camp, our first sight of Monument Lake Campground convinced us to settle here. After setting up our home on wheels, it was enjoyable to stretch our legs and explore the area and get acquainted with the campground. It's exciting to walk through the grounds to see the various types of camping equipment being used by people from all parts of the country. Camping can be simple or it can be luxurious. Most lakes in Colorado are small, man-made, spring-fed, and beautiful. We were happy to see that Monument Lake had a sand beach and guarded swimming area for the children. Boy, that sure looks refreshing. The Air Force Academy Chapel looks so small in contrast to the Rocky Mountains. From a distance, its sharply pointed spires seem only to be needle points paralleling the lofty peaks of its rocky background. However, as we draw nearer, the contrast reverses, and we begin to feel the smallness of ourselves as next to this impressive chapel. The structure actually houses 3 chapels. Upstairs, the Protestant, and downstairs, the Catholic and Jewish faith worships regularly. Nearly 4,000 cadets worship here weekly. The Air Force Academy is a 4-year service school designed to train officers for our Air Force. What luck as we catch a glimpse of the cadets coming in from their morning drills, and we find out they will assemble shortly for an inspection in the courtyard. While waiting for the cadets to return, the children enjoyed romping around this pleasant visitors' mall. An impressive building on the campus is this planetarium, where cadets learn to navigate by the stars. Someday, perhaps, they will begin to learn to navigate through the solar system. Every day at noon, cadets assemble for inspection. Then their band leading them, they march off to lunch at Mitchell Hall. Springs is the third largest city in Colorado and is famous as a summer resort. Throughout the city, there is evidence of a thriving, growing community. The freshness of its architecture and pleasant shopping malls seem to befit its elegant mountain backdrop. Monument Valley Park in Colorado Springs provided us with a quiet and peaceful resting place as the children took their afternoon nap in the shade of many trees. After nap time, our next stop was at the Garden of the Gods. Mother Nature took millions of years to produce these remarkable sandstone formations, but it took civilized man less than 100 years to envision in these formations many figures like names like Devil's Pulpit, Cathedral Rock, Bird's Eye Bluehead, Kissing Camels, and Egyptian Mummy have kept curious tourists like ourselves intrigued by this delightful area. The sight of Balance Rock was one of fright. To see such a huge sandstone boulder perched on so precarious a base gave us a feeling of insecurity. This feeling subsided quickly, however, as baby Michael showed us there was nothing to fear, at least not for a few hundred years anyway. Opposite Balance Rock is Ship's Rock, called that because of its strong resemblance to the bow of a ship. One of the reasons we enjoy camping so much is because of the freedom it gives us. It lets us take a break between touring to relax and to catch our breath. Also, the wide open space of the campground gives the children a chance to run off some of their excess energy. Waking up refreshed, devouring a savory breakfast in the warm morning sun, and tending to the chores gives our family a unity that is impossible during the rest of the year. Monument Lake had been on our mind since we had arrived, So today, we decided to take advantage of its cool water. It was also time to give baby Mike his first try at swimming. He has always had fun in the bathtub, but boy, he is having a real ball here. Before starting out on a day of touring, it was Steve's job to walk the 100 yards to the water faucet to fill the water jug. Very often, this water would become a real pleasure since the days in Colorado were hot and dry. Our first sight of the Royal Gorge wasn't very spectacular. It appeared to be just a simple bridge that a lot of people were walking over. We changed our minds rather quickly, though, at Inspiration Point, when we realized the immense gap that Mother Nature had left in the surface of our Earth. The gorge reminded us of the Grand Canyon, on a much smaller scale, of course. It took a while to convince Barb to walk over the bridge, since it was terrifying to know that the closest ground underneath was 1,055 feet below. Baby Mike traveled as he usually did and enjoyed every view and every detail. The Arkansas River, fifth largest in the United States, cuts its way through the gorge. The tracks of the Denver-Rio Grande Railroad snake along the river's edge, thus avoiding a long, hard climb over the mountains. Once on the other side of the bridge, we began to feel even more the immensity of the gorge as the bridge appeared small, stretching over this cavernous opening. Its size was sheer beauty, and it made us wonder about how small the Earth must look in the universe.